Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to take you through 7 days worth of breakfasts. I recorded what I ate every day for 7 days for breakfast. Maybe this will give you a little bit of breakfast inspiration. It's all pretty basic, but sometimes you just need a reminder. So let's get started on 7 days worth of breakfasts. So for breakfast on this morning, we are having single serve baked French toasts. What I have in my little mini loaf pans, I sprayed them with avocado oil spray, and I have 2 slices of bread, and I just ripped it apart, put it in each one, so 2 in each one. And then in this bowl, I have 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of milk, a tablespoon of sweetener. I used Lakanto monk fruit for myself, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm just gonna pour that right over top. And you just wanna make sure all the bread is soaked and wet in the egg mixture. I have a little helper down here who wants to be up on the counter. And then I just kind of swish it around just to make sure all the bread is wet. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar or cinnamon monk fruit over the top. And then I will bake it in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. And I'm going to make a blueberry sauce to go on top. To go with our baked French toast, I'm making a simple blueberry syrup. It's just a cup of blueberries, a tablespoon of monk fruit, a tablespoon of water, half a teaspoon of cornstarch, and you just cook it until it becomes thick and clear. And I use a potato masher and mash it down. I leave some of the berries whole, but I like to mash it down so it's a syrup consistency. And because I have fruit as a 0-point food, this is 0 points for me. So if I'm trying to save some points and don't want to spend the points on the pure maple syrup that I use, I'll make a nice blueberry sauce. You can also make it with raspberries, strawberries, whatever you have laying around. And here it is out of the oven. It took a little bit longer than 25 minutes. Just make sure it's done in the middle. So there is the final breakfast on this day. My single serve French toast with blueberry syrup. For me, on my personal points, this is 5 points. It is 0 points for the blueberry sauce. It is 5 points for the actual French toast, 4 points for the bread, and 1 point for the milk, and everything else is 0. So that is breakfast on day 1. Okay, breakfast on day 2 is kicking it back old school. I just have 2 over easy eggs, some bacon, and 2 slices of toast. That's made with my homemade bread. So the toast is 4 points. The bacon is 3 points. So it is a 7-point day 2 breakfast. On day 3, Sunday, it was breakfast at church. I had a veggie omelet and a piece of toast. Breakfast on this day is going to be a breakfast sandwich. I like to make what I call a folded egg to put on the sandwich. I just beat up 1 egg, then I pour it into my skillet. I let it cook for a minute or 2 on the first side. Then I just flip it over. Then I add any mix-ins, which on this day I am using raw milk cheddar cheese. It is 1 point's worth. It is 1/4 ounce. Then I'm going to season with salt and pepper. And then I'm going to fold the egg over onto itself to let the cheese melt. And when there's room in the pan, I'm going to toss in 2 slices of Canadian bacon. This is the Aldi brand, and for 2 slices, it's actually 0 points. Then I'm going to fold the egg over onto itself and make like a little pie wedge. I'm going to assemble it on one of my homemade sourdough English muffins, the egg, and the meat. And there it is, my breakfast sandwich. Breakfast on this morning is going to be oatmeal bowls, and instead of our basic chunky monkey, I have a bunch of the crock pot apples left over from dessert the other night when we went to a friend's. So I'm going to heat these up, and we are going to fold them into our oatmeal. Top it with a little bit of walnuts. So it'll be like apple pie oatmeal. And there is breakfast. I have 1 cup of cooked oatmeal. I have about a half a cup of the apples for 0 points. And I have 1 point's worth of walnuts. And I also have about 2 tablespoons, I have 2 tablespoons of milk. So this is a 5-point breakfast for me this morning. My apple pie oatmeal. Today's breakfast is sourdough pancakes, blueberry to be exact, with a little bit of maple syrup. Pretty basic today. 2 dippy eggs for 0 points, 3 Jones's chicken sausage links for 2 points, and some hash brown potatoes for 0 points. Okay, today's breakfast is going to be a German pancake or a puff pancake or a Dutch baby, whatever you like to call it. I am having it. Normally I make it in my 10-inch skillet, but I'm going to make it in my, however big this one is, 8-inch skillet today, and just have 2 servings. So I have a half a tablespoon of butter in there, and I'm going to preheat the oven to 425, and I'm going to put this in with it so the butter melts. Now I have these leftover crock pot apples, so I am going to, once the butter melts and the skillet's preheated, I'm going to toss these in. And then this mixture is, like I said, it's halved. It's 2 eggs. What else is in there? 1/4 cup of milk. No. 3 ounces of milk, 1/4 cup of flour, some vanilla, and a dash of salt. I'm going to beat that up, and then I will pour it over the apples, and I will bake this at a 425 for about 22 minutes or so, but I'll show you that when it's ready. Okay, it is sizzling hot. I put the apples in, and now I'm just going to pour the pancake mixture just right over the top. And then we're going to pop that in the oven for about 22 minutes or so. And there it is, my beautiful puff pancake. Got a little brown. I wasn't paying attention to it, but it'll still be delicious. Like I said, this is half, so I'm going to cut it in half, and Doug will eat half, and I'll eat half. But I'll end up sharing it with the babies like I usually do. And there it is. It is 4 points for the Dutch baby, and I have 2 points worth of maple syrup. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed my breakfasts. Sorry about all the voiceovers, but you know what I do for a living. And you know it gets crazy in here, so it's just easier to voice right over all of the chaos. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this gave you some breakfast inspiration and maybe reminded you of a few breakfasts that you forgot about. I know that happens to me all the time. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.